comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, it's a pretty big podcast because we do have quite a bit of sweet Funko Pop announcements to discuss about. Unfortunately, none of them, though, are the Funkoween announcements for this week, due to the fact that we thought instead of separating the Funkoween announcements between two podcasts, we would just do it all in one entire podcast, just discussing about Funkoween reveals. Today also is our top 10 Funko Pops list for May 2021, or as I like to call it, International DK Wrestler Month 2021. And then with next week's podcast, we will also have the update. So any of the Funkoween Pops that we decide we want to add to the top 10 list will be discussed in next week's podcast. But before we actually get into the podcast, I do want to mention we have teamed up with Popboxed on a cool deal. We have a promo deal going on with Popbox right now where you can get 15% off of Funko Pop protector orders, 4-inch protectors, 6-inch protectors. You can get varieties of 10 protectors, 20 protectors, up to 250 protectors. Use the code of Funko Popcast to get 15% off of your order. It lasts from the 27th of May up until the end of this weekend on May 31st. So get your Funko Pop protectors now from popbox.ca. It will be listed in the description below. Use the code of Funko Popcast to get yourself 15% off of your Funko Pop protector needs. Anyways, though, let's kick off with the first set of Funko Pop announcements, which these announcements range from May 9th all the way until May 15th. So kicking off the first one announced on May 9th, GameStop had announced their own exclusive pop of an artist Deadpool, which was later announced on Funko's social media account the next day, in which this is expected to be released as early as July 2021. Then Funko had announced a set of pops for the upcoming movie Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which the pops we have here are Venom, Carnage, and then a 10-inch variant of Carnage, which will be exclusive to Walmart. And these are expected to release as early as August 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced a new wave of the Disney Ultimate Princess set, which the pops feature here. We have common pops of Snow White, Cinderella, Pocahontas, Rapunzel, and Moana, with exclusive pops of Pocahontas and then a pop and pin bundle of Snow White, which both of these will be going to the Funko shop. We have a Diamond Collection Ariel, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. And then we have Tiana from The Princess and the Frog, which will be exclusive to Box Lunch. And those are expected to release as early as July 2021. Then on May 14th, Funko had announced a pop of Yungblud for the Pop Rocks lineup, which this is expected to release as early as August 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced a new variant of the Everett Aqua Sox mascot, Webley, which this one has a camo jersey. And this is available now as a giveaway prize during Everett Aqua Sox games. And then on that same day, Pop Culture had announced an exclusive pop of a 10-inch silver metallic Bulbasaur for the Pokemon lineup, which this is available now on Pop Culture's website. And if I were to predict correctly, this will most likely be a Target exclusive in the US at a later date. And last but not least, on May 15th for this section, EB Games had announced their own exclusive Diamond Collection Pride Stitch Pop for, of course, the new set of Pride Pops, which this is expected to release as early as June 2021. So kicking off with the artist Deadpool Pop, this is an okay variant of Deadpool. I think what really makes up for this is because of the fact that I think this is actually one of those pieces where it's being charged at the normal 4-inch price, but it looks like it's a deluxe because of the fact that it has the little display of art there with whatever Deadpool has painted on. And I do like the paint palette and how he only has the color red on there. I think once again, it's one of those pops where it's not one of the best ones, but it's not one of the worst ones either as terms to the the Deadpool lineup. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'm actually pretty pumped for this movie. I can't wait to see it, especially with the teaser at the end of the first movie where they will introduce Carnage. Really excited for this. I think these Funko Pops look okay. I'm not going to say they're the greatest. Venom looks pretty cool, but Carnage, there is a little bit of bad hype because people don't think this looks good as terms to Carnage. As I'm looking at it right now, the way that the colors are, although it is movie accurate though, so I'm not going to take that away from it, is that it kind of looks like the same red color that is used for the Tom and Bruce monster from Stranger Things. So I guess it's cool in that aspect, and I do like the teeth involved with Carnage in the way that the eyes and the tongue are sticking out like that. And I think what I like about the 10-inch versus the 4-inch pop is the different pose in it too. And I think I like the 10-inch pop pose better than the 4-inch. And because I am trying to get an entire set of Carnage pops, these will be added to my Carnage collection. And that means I will have to get this 10-inch Carnage also. The Disney Princess Ultimate set of pops, probably mix up the words there. These are killer. I'm really impressed with these Disney Ultimate Princess Pops. We discussed about it actually not too long ago, the first set, and already they're just laying out some second set of Pops. I'm really liking, as terms to the commons, I'm thinking I'm liking Moana the best out of them, although all of them are really good in their own way, especially with Rapunzel and how she's kind of using her hair as the base of the Pop, which is really, really cool. And I think a lot of people really like the Pocahontas common. I don't blame them because that looks really, really cool. The exclusive pops, not surprised we're getting a Diamond Collection pop, especially of Ariel, and the fact that it is going to Hot Topic makes sense. And it also makes sense that they're making a Tiana pop going to Box Lunch, because I feel like a lot of the Princess and the Frog pops are actually Box Lunch exclusives as it is. It looks like to me that the Snow White Funko Shop exclusive is actually metallic with the way that the attire is. And the one thing that's really cool about this pop, and I don't know how many people know about this, is that this pop will actually get its own unique Funko Shop exclusive sticker. It is 2 different shades of gold for the Funko Shop exclusive sticker, and you can actually view that on the Funko app right now. It makes me think, even though I don't collect Disney Ultimate Princess pops, do I want to get this Funko Shop exclusive just for that gold foil sticker? Then we got ourselves Yungblud. Who the is this fruitcake? I have no idea who this Yungblud guy is. I even tried searching him up on Wikipedia and I thought, okay, maybe I know of him, but I absolutely have no idea of him. I'm assuming that this attire is involved with the music video, I assume. And I guess the only thing cool about this is what looks to be some sort of, I don't want to say it's barbed wire, but that's what it looks like to me because it's gray. So it makes me want to start chanting EC dub, EC dub, EC dub. Then we got Webley from the Everett Aqua Sox. I don't really know much about the Everett Aqua Sox, except, of course, it is like a minor league MLB team. And of course, because Everett is the city where Funko HQ is, of course, Funko HQ has a lot of partnerships going on with the Everett Aqua Sox, and they've made a couple of variants of Webley before. This one's pretty cool. I mean, most of them are just basically the same with that same pose and essentially the same head sculpt, but I'm really liking this camo jersey. I think it's really cool. Then we got the 10-inch silver metallic Bulbasaur. Why? It's already hard enough. We had the 10-inch Pikachu for Target Con earlier this year, but now you're making the 10-inch variant for the starter Pokemons. This is really killing me. At least, this year is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, so hopefully next year we don't see any more. So I'm just going to expect we will get a Charmander and a Squirtle 10-inch pop by the end of this year. And then last but not least for this section, we have the Diamond Collection Pride Stitch. This is not too bad as far as I'm looking at. I think the Diamond Collection will actually look pretty decent. I will have to actually see this when this goes in store, of course, at EB Games, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, because of the fact that it was promoted with a special edition sticker and not an EB Games sticker, that means that most likely it's not going to be exclusive to GameStop in the US, but it'll probably be exclusive to Box Lunch in the US.
What a way to start off this podcast with another Deadpool pop. All jokes aside, this is all right. And I would like to assume that the reason why he's using the red paint is because it is not paint, it is actually blood, which is kind of cool. I don't mind this Deadpool. I think this is a decent one. I really like the detail on the painting itself, and even if you look at the canvas, it looks like it's not just like a flat piece of plastic. It looks like it's it's got some texture on it that makes it look like a canvas, which is really, really cool. And another thing is that me and my buddy had just been talking the other day about how you don't really see a whole lot of Funko Pops where it comes with an accessory that is not attached right to the pop in some form, and this is not. And that is kind of funny because you rarely see this. And then I was just talking about it, and here it is. The Venom Pops, these are cool. I do agree, though, that the Carnage kind of does look a little bit wonky. And I thought it was funny that you brought up the Tom Bruce monster from Stranger Things, because that's the first thing I thought is like, oh, it looks a lot like that because of, I guess, the way they're very similar kinds of creatures, I guess you could say. So it does make sense. The Venom, though, is really cool. I really enjoy that Venom. Then we have the Ultimate Princess Collection, and these are great again. I'm really enjoying these sets, and I think I'm going to collect all of them. Maybe not all of the exclusives, but definitely all of the commons, because I think that these are like some pops that need to be displayed out of box, like have their own kind of like maybe even like a tiered shelf to put these on. They just look so cool. I love how the bases kind of look like, what they remind me of is the old McDonald's toys, those Disney toys back in the day that had like a little base and then it showed like the character's name and then like the year that movie had come out. The exclusives are also pretty cool. I enjoy most of these exclusives. I really like the Ariel, and the Snow White's not too bad either. I kind of just wish it had a base. And the same thing with the Pocahontas exclusive, because I think they just should have added the base. The rest of the figures have bases. Why not those ones? Yungblud. Yeah, I don't really know who this is either. You might be surprised by that. Maybe you thought that I knew who this was, but I definitely don't know who this guy is. I've heard of him, obviously, and I've seen photos of him and stuff on the internet, but never cared to listen to any of his music. But I guess this pop is all right. I mean, there's some pretty decent detail, like the rosy red cheeks, and the barbed wire in the hair is kind of a cool thing. And then the body on the pop itself is all right as well. This is not a bad pop. It's just, I would like to see some more iconic people, I guess, for the pop rocks category. And then we have the Everett Aqua Sox with this camo jersey. This is all right. I don't know if I would say if this is better than the other ones we've seen, but it actually just made me realize that this character is a frog. For some reason, I never got that out of it, and I don't know why. I thought he was more of like a lizard than a frog. I don't know why the hell I thought that, but I enjoy these pops because obviously you want to go to like a game and get one of these pops if you're a Funko fan, and let's say you're a fan of this team, obviously. I just wish that they did this for NHL. Then we have the 10-inch silver metallic Bulbasaur. This is a piece of garbage. It just looks like a huge pile of trash, really. I feel bad for people who are dead set on collecting the whole Pokemon lineup and every exclusive and every variant, because just in the 10-inch pops alone, now that you're having these silver metallic pops, it's like that takes up so much room. These boxes are so big for something that is just so not great. I think there's so much more potential for the Pokemon lineup, and this is just terrible. It looks bad. It really does look bad. And then we have the Diamond Collection Stitch. I like this. And I believe on the last podcast, or the last one when we talked about the common Stitch, that I didn't like that one as much as the rest of them, but I definitely like it now. I enjoy the Diamond Collection with this. I think it really works. I want to see this one in person because I think it'll look pretty cool.
All right, so moving on to the next set of Funko Pops. These range from May 17th to May 21st, which kicking off on May 17th, Funko had re-announced the Luca lineup of Pops for the upcoming Pixar movie, of course, called Luca, which they had re-announced the normal variants of Luca and Alberto, but added 3 more Pops to the lineup. Julia, and I'm not going to pronounce the last name there, but her name I'm pretty sure is spelled Julia, but with a G. And then we got C variants of Luca and Alberto, and these are expected to release as early as June 2021. Then on May 18th, Funko had announced a set of pops for the animation Sword Art Online, which the set we have here is Asuna, Leafs, Kirito, and then exclusive pops of Kirito with 2 swords, which will be exclusive to FYE, and then Asuna jumping, which will be exclusive to Box Lunch. And these are expected to release as early as June 2021. Then on May 19th, The Wiggles had announced a Funko Pop of Emma Wiggle, which this is a common pop, and this is available right now at various retailers in Australia, including Pop Culture, which they do ship worldwide for this pop. Then on May 20th, Funko had announced the next set of Target exclusive Marvel Through the Ages pops, which all of these are artist series variants for the set that is called the Patriotic Age, which we got 3 variants of Captain America. One is the video game variant, the other is the Falcon and Winter Soldier variant, and then we have the Captain America Civil War version of Captain America as a part of a Pop and Tea bundle. We have artist series Spider-Man and Captain Marvel, and these were available for pre-order, but I think if I'm not mistaken, the pre-orders might be sold out at the moment now, and these are expected to release in stores as early as June 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced a brand new wave of WWE Funko Pops, which this set we have common pops of Jerry the King Lawler, Asuka, Rey Mysterio, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits, and then exclusive pops of Roman Reigns, which will be exclusive to Amazon, and we got ourselves a singular Xavier Woods, which will be a Target exclusive, and these are expected to release as early as August 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced the Season 2 Mandalorian Funko Pops, which we got ourselves Bo-Katan with a 1-in-6 unmasked chase, Grogu with the cookie, Boba Fett, Mando holding child unmasked, Ahsoka Tano, the Dark Trooper, and then we have exclusive pops of Grogu holding Butterfly, which will be exclusive to EB Games / GameStop, Grogu with the Chowder Squid, which will be exclusive to Target, and then we have a hooded Ahsoka Tano, which will be exclusive to Amazon, and these are also expected to release as early as August 2021. On that same day, Pop Culture had announced an exclusive pop of a Venomized Ironheart, which has its own 1-in-6 glow-in-the-dark chase. Unknown at the moment of where this is going to be exclusive to, but I'm going to be guessing it's either going to be Hot Topic or Pop in a Box. And then on May 21st, Funko had announced a new pop for a set of Disney Artist Series pops going to Amazon, which this is of Donald Duck, and this is available for pre-order now and is expected to release as early as July 2021. And last but not least, a pretty decent way to actually end off these announcements for this podcast is more Office Pops, all of them going to EB Games / GameStop, in which first we have a singular pop of Fun Run Angela Martin, and then as a part of a Beach Day collector's box, we have the sumo variants of Jim Halpert and Stanley Hudson, which these are expected to release as early as August 2021. So kicking off with the Luca Pops, which first I do want to mention, I'm actually pretty excited for this movie. I think I'm pretty excited whenever Pixar releases a movie because most of the time Pixar never really disappoints when it comes to a movie unless your name is Cars 2. Not only am I excited about this movie, but the fact that this movie will actually release on Disney Plus in June and not for premiere access. So I will be able to watch this the day it comes out without having to pay the $35 premium price. These pops are pretty cool, especially the C variants of Luca and Alberto. Sword Art Online. Have no idea what this is, but I noticed in the comments a lot of people hyping for this. I don't really know what to say because, like I mentioned, I haven't seen Sword Art Online, but I think the exclusives are pretty cool variants. The ones holding the 2 swords, and then you have one that's jumping in midair using a sword. So I think that's really cool that they did that. Then we got Emma from the Wiggles. I know that this pop actually was released on Pop Culture's website weeks ago. I just thought I would wait until either Funko or maybe even the Wiggles themselves, which that's what ended up happening, announcing these on their social media pages. But yeah, this Emma Wiggle is pretty cool. I know there's a lot of people that aren't excited the fact that they decided to do Emma instead of any of like the original cast members, but I think this is kind of like the testing out the water situation with the Wiggles lineup and see how many people get this. But they did mention mentioned in the description below for their post, stay tuned for more possible pops coming for this lineup, which I mean, that clearly means that you are in the middle of making more Wiggles pops. And I think there will be, considering that if you notice on the box, this is actually pop number 848 in the pop television lineup. And I already know that some of the newer office pops are actually 1100 lineup already. So clearly these have been in the work for quite a bit if it's going in the 800s. The artist series pops. This is such a huge disappointment. I was expecting we would get a huge set of blacklight pops, and that's what I was hoping for. We even did a video on that, which a little suggestion thingy above if you wanted to watch that video, which definitely better predictions than what these ended up turning out. All they did was just make like these silver pops and kind of add the characters' logos to them, but make them basically blue and red to make red, white, and blue. I think the only decent pop is the Pop and Tea bundle version of Captain America, because I do like the way that that blue stands out, but also if you look on the Funko app, you can see the photo of what the box looks like, and that looks pretty pimp, honestly. So that's the only thing I like about this. Other than that, these are some pretty trash pops, if you ask me. These are terrible. Then the new wave of WWE Funko Pops. This is a pretty decent wave, I'll admit. Some are cool, some are meh. Like, I kind of find it weird that as one of the exclusives, they made it as Xavier Woods as a single pop. I mean, Xavier Woods, he's cool. New Day's pretty cool, but I felt like that could have been in a slot for like a different superstar who hasn't had a pop, or maybe a character that deserves another variant. Like example, I thought of the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray Wyatt and then made it a Target exclusive. I think that would have been sweet instead of the Xavier Woods. I wish they would have made the Street Profits into an actual 2-pack instead of making the singular pops. The Rey Mysterio is fantastic. When I heard the rumors about new WWE pops and I heard about Rey Mysterio being added, I couldn't think of what attire he's going to wear because he has so many different attires. I was dead set on thinking he was going to wear like his black and yellow attire that he had returning in 2018 for the Royal Rumble, but this is pretty sweet. And the one thing I really like about this is the fact they put white eyes on this pop instead of black, because it goes with his sweet contacts that he wears when he wrestles. I know sometimes he doesn't wear those contacts, but when he wears those contacts, it actually makes his appearance look really cool. So I'm glad that they actually added the white eyes. It makes the whole colors of his attire really pop out. Jerry Lawler is pretty cool. I kind of wish he had the crown to his side, but yet again, you'll kind of have that problem with some of the pops, like example, Duke Kaboom, where he has the helmet to the side and it looks weird how you have a helmet that's smaller than its head on the side. So I guess it's cool that they added the crown on there. I mean, I think a lot of us would agree that we would love to have a 2-pack of Jerry Lawler with Jim Ross, but unfortunately we know where Jim Ross is. So unfortunately there won't be a Jim Ross pop anytime soon. Asuka's okay, but we've already seen 3 variants of Asuka's and they were all exclusive pops. And then Roman Reigns, it's cool we have a new Roman Reigns because I think the original Roman Reigns is rising up in price. So it's cool that they did this. And at first, I hated this pop because the title really looked like the WWE Championship. But if you actually zoom in closer, and I'm talking about the photo on the Funko app because it's kind of hard to tell with this glam shot here, they did add the dark blue strap, but it's really, really hard to tell that it's the dark blue strap. And that was one of my biggest problems at first with this pop, was thinking they added the WWE Championship instead of the Universal Championship that he actually holds. Mando Season 2 pops. Finally, we have Mando Season 2 pops. And I'm not going to get into a hissy fit on why Funko didn't announce this during when the Star Wars pops got announced, because I did mention they should have. But the fact is we have Mando Season 2 pops, and these are great. The Bo-Katan definitely makes sense, and I think a lot of people really want that Chase variant. Grogu eating the cookie, that's really cool. I enjoyed that scene. The Boba Fett is pretty cool too, except a lot of people were wishing it was unmasked Boba Fett instead of Boba Fett with the helmet. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe they'll make it as an eventual exclusive. Mando holding the child is probably the best pop of this set, just because of the surprise element of the fact that he's actually unmasked. When I heard about this, I thought he was going to be masked and it was just going to be a slightly different variant than from the Mandalorian holding child pops we've had previously. But it's so cool that we have this version unmasked. Ahsoka Tano, really cool that we have her. The Dark Trooper is really cool. I think it's a very underrated pop. Not a lot of people are talking about this, but the overall detail and design looks really, really cool compared to a lot of these Funko Pops. And of course, it is to be expected that we have some Grogu pops that are exclusives. Grogu is a whole thing. And actually, on the box, it now does say Grogu and not the child, of course, because he is officially called Grogu and no longer essentially Baby Yoda or the child, even though everybody probably still says Baby Yoda. The hooded version of Ahsoka is okay. I do like the common variant better. The Venomized Ironheart, this looks pretty weird. The glow is okay. There's nothing really much to say because I don't really know anything about Ironheart at all. The artist series Donald Duck. This is a bit weird here because he kind of looks like a strawberry. This is what his design kind of looks like. So I don't know the connection between strawberries and Donald Duck, or they decided this is what we're going to do as a random design. I think a lot of people are really hating on artist series pops at this point, and I kind of agree because it just doesn't really make sense. We don't really know the point. I think it was cool when we had the Futura Pops for Star Wars, but that's because we knew it was a street artist making these cool designs. But now, like, Funko's doing their own take on it, and it's called Artist Series. It's kind of gotten out of hand, and it's just a little weird. Then we got ourselves the Office Pops. These are pretty cool. I'm hoping for some more future fun run variants of Office characters. Like, I'm hoping for a Michael Scott with like his blue shirt on, and maybe there's a Chase variant where he's holding the little container of fettuccine Alfredo. I think that would be totally funny if they did that. Angela's still fine. She's got like the sprinkles picture on her shirt, and I don't know if on the actual tag where it says number 12 it will say like the whole name is like the Meredith Palmer Fun Run for Rabies Run. I don't exactly know the name for it, but I wonder if it says the entire name on there, but it's still cool. And I'm freaking loving this collector's box. Jim Halpert and Stanley Hudson in their sumo attires. I freaking love this scene, and I'm kind of a fan of everything that's in the box. You get a 3-pack of pins, what looks to be a full notepad of Dunder Mifflin, and there's probably paper inside to write stuff. But I'm thinking right now, it's like, do I want to write inside of that book or just keep it blank? And then the pen I'm not going to use because I know how Funko pens are. They literally die off quick. But the pops, I love the Stanley Hudson. I think it's amazing that they did this version of Stanley Hudson because he's all mad when he's doing the sumo. And then Jim Halpert, he's kind of scared there, which is a perfect thing. I wish, though, it was a 2-pack and they kind of positioned them in the box like they would have done with the Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 2-pack, where it's kind of diagonal, where it looks like they're facing each other, and you can have Stanley Hudson with his hands out like this, and Jim is kind of scared there, and you can have it positioned like that with a cool background to go along with this scene.
All right, starting off with the Luca Pops. Yeah, I agree with what you said. I'm pretty excited for this as well. Usually Pixar movies are great. And I don't think this will disappoint. It looks like a cool movie, and these pops look really, really good. The style of these characters, you have to have a mouth with these. I know that Funko doesn't do that a whole lot, but you kind of have to do it with these ones. And it's kind of refreshing as well to see kind of different style noses. I mean, none of these 5 pops have a normal kind of just regular triangle, like Funko Pop type nose. So that's pretty cool. These all look really, really great. Sword Art Online. These are cool. I've only watched a couple episodes of Sword Art, and I really, really need to get back into it. They kind of give me some Kingdom Hearts kind of vibes with the stances and kind of the outfits. But yeah, I think I would end up buying these if I liked the show. Emma from the Wiggles. This is really cool. Obviously, yeah, we're upset that we didn't get kind of the rest of the Wiggles, but I do think that we will. And I'm really hoping that not only do we get, let's say, the current cast, but we get the OGs, because I know some of the OG guys are still on the show. I also really, really want to see Dorothy the dinosaur, Henry the octopus, and most importantly, I would love to see a Funko Pop of Captain Feathersword from the Wiggles. I think that would just be unreal. I would definitely buy every single Wiggles Pop that they put out if they do something like that. And then we have just the absolute worst Funko Pops of 2021 so far, in my opinion. There's not really anything that trumps this for me. I mean, these just suck. I really hate these Artist Series Pops. I agree with what you said. Like, it was cool when we had the future stuff because obviously it's an actual artist, and then you have just some random person who works for Funko who made these, and who even knows if it was one person that made all four of these. Like, it could have been two people that made these, or four people that made them, or potentially even more for different ideas. And I don't know how they come up with these ideas, but it's not good. I really hope they either figure something out to make the art series look really, really nice, or just stop doing it entirely. Then the new WWE wave. I'm half impressed with this line and I'm half not so impressed. I guess I'll start off with the bad. Yeah, like you said, Asuka. We've seen multiple pops for Asuka, so I don't really think she needs another one, at least right now. Roman Reigns, obviously, there is a Roman Reigns pop, but I do think there should have been a new one, and I think that pop turned out pretty well. We've seen different Rey Mysterio pops in the past as well, but that one is also it's a pretty fire pop. It looks really, really cool, and it's Rey Mysterio. He's gonna sell because it's Rey Mysterio. And then Xavier Woods, we've seen an Xavier Woods pop before, and now we have another one, and it just feels so not off-putting. It just feels so weird to just have that one alone. So I don't know if they plan to, with every wave, kind of put out another member of the New Day as a Target exclusive, but I feel like that would just take so long. So it's just really weird, but I don't mind this version of Xavier Woods. I think his attire looks pretty sweet. And then there's the Street Profits, which is great. It would be cool to see them in a 2-pack like we've seen with the Hardy Boys, but having them be singular pops isn't too bad either. And then there's Jerry Lawler, which is my favorite pop, I think, from this wave. And I think this is great. And yes, it would be really cool to one day see a Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross 2-pack, but I doubt we will see that. But something that is a potential, which I would love to see a 2-pack of, is Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman. I think that would be an amazing 2-pack. Then we have the season 2 Mando pops, and all of these are straight fire. These are all amazing. I mean, starting off with Bo-Katan, the chase and the common, they're both great in their own ways. And I feel like people are going to want both of those. So I feel like that chase will end up being expensive eventually. I guess I'll go straight to the Grogu's. They're all pretty decent. I know we were starting to kind of get sick of seeing Grogu, but we haven't really seen Grogu in a while now, and we're getting more, and it's a little bit refreshing. I really like the one with the butterfly, and I think I will pick it up for the reason being that, one, it's a great pop, and two, I could have a actual Grogu pop into my collection rather than the child. The Boba Fett is pretty cool. Yeah, it kind of sucks we didn't see an unmasked version, but I do think we will see one down the line. Mando with Grogu is so awesome. Such a great pop. And wow, it really looks good. The head sculpt for Mando. It looks just like him, which is awesome. Like that's kind of amazing. Ahsoka, really, really cool. Both of the pops for Ahsoka are great. And then we have Venomized Ironheart. This is a lineup that I've been getting sick of ever since it was first released, pretty much. And it seems like it just keeps coming back and keeps coming back. And this one just looks like a mess. The chase is cool. I mean, it's interesting, that type of glow in the dark where there's little tiny spots of glow in the dark and so many different colors. I guess that's kind of cool. But overall, that pop is just doesn't look really appealing, I guess. Speaking about not appealing, we have another art series pop. And again, this is not really the way to do it. I would really like to know what it is that is going on with this, though, because I feel like there's some kind of significance. It does look like he's a strawberry, kind of, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more something to do with a culture of some sort. And then to end it off, we have the Office Pops. These are great. I really like the Angela Martin. I love that episode of the Fun Run, so that's really, really cool. I'm glad they made that pop. And yes, I agree. We need to see more Office characters from the Fun Run. And then we have the Sumo Suit. And yeah, you're right. This whole box is really, really awesome. I definitely want to get this because it comes with a lot of cool stuff, and obviously I want to add to my Office collection. And that notebook, I love it, how it's got the glizzies, I guess you could call them, all the hot dogs on it. And I feel torn up too, like, ooh, do I want to keep that in good condition, or do I want to use it because it's also a pretty dang cool kind of notebook. I also really enjoy that the pop on the pen is actually Andy and it's not like they could have just went with Jim. But then it feels like you get more out of this box when the pen is also a different character, even though we've seen that pop before. But that's fine because it's a pen, obviously. This whole box is great. I'm really happy with the new Funko Office announcements.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the top 10 Funko Pops of May 2021. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, unfortunately, we won't be talking about Funko Ween announcements until next week's podcast. But of course, we will have the update next week. So technically, this is top 10 Funko Pops of May 2021, or as I like to call it, International DK Wrestler Month 2021 so far. So without further ado, like usual here, we will kick off with MD Shady and his number 10 pick.
All right, so coming in at number 10 is I believe it's a Pop Rides of She-Ra. I think that looks very, very nice, and it definitely deserved to be in the top 10.
All right, so coming in at number 10 on my list is the Emma Wiggle from The Wiggles. I thought that having a Wiggles pop definitely deserved to be on my top 10 list so far. Most likely will be taken off due to Funko Ween announcements when we discuss about them next week and have the update. But I think it was the mixed hype of it's cool that we have Emma Wiggle, but at the same time, I wish we had some original cast members.
Coming in at number 9 on my list is the Darth Maul pop. I think it was pretty cool. It's not my favorite Darth Maul, but I think they could produce any kind of Darth Maul as long as it's not like an artist series, and it'll probably make a top 10 list because Darth Maul is awesome.
All right, number 9 on my list. It is the previous exclusive limited to 30,000 piece White Knight Batman and Joker 2-pack. I think this is a really cool 2-pack. I think the detail involved with these two pops overall are really cool, especially with Batman and especially with the Joker, with kind of that, we don't know if it's a voodoo doll or just something else, but in the shape of a tiny Funko Pop. And I think that looks really cool.
Coming in at number 8, I have Jerry the King Lawler. I think this was the best out of the new WWE wave. And I mean, I think it's pretty overdue. Jerry the King Lawler definitely deserves a pop. He's the king.
Coming in at number 8 on my list, it is the common version of Carnage for the Venom Let There Be Carnage lineup. Really cool that we got a Carnage pop, and especially pops for this movie overall, because they never made Venom pops for the last movie. I think it's pretty cool, but a lot of people don't think it's cool, which is why it's low, because it's a mixed hype, the overall reaction of the Funko fanatics, but the detail's pretty decent. And then my personal reaction is basically the reason why it's on this list, or else it probably wouldn't have made it to the top 10 list for this month.
Coming in at number 7, I cannot actually remember the actual name to this set, but it is, I believe, called like the Bounty Hunter Collection Bosk. I really enjoy that, and I can't wait to have all 6 or 7 pops because I think they will look really, really cool all connected together.
My number 7 is also the EB Games / GameStop exclusive Bosk from the Bounty Hunter Pop Deluxe set that is coming out. Definitely better than the Boba Fett. Not because like, oh, it's a better character than Boba Fett, but we've seen a lot of Boba Fett's and we haven't seen a lot of Bosks realistically. It's cool that we have a new Bosk that is updated from the original mold. And I think a lot of people were really wanting Bosk when the Boba Fett was announced as terms of the bounty hunters that could be featured. And I think it's really cool, this pop.
At number 6 on my list, I have the Fun Run Angela Martin. I think it's a pretty great pop for the Office set. And like we said, we want to see more of those Fun Run kind of Office characters. So I think with Angela, it's a good start. And it turned out pretty great. I like the details on the shirt. I think it really adds to the pop.
Coming in at number 6 on my list, it is the common variant of Ahsoka from the Mandalorian lineup. This is a really cool variant of Ahsoka. The hooded one is okay, but I like the idea of Ahsoka having the lightsabers out and basically ready to battle. And essentially, that's why I stated earlier that I like the common more than the exclusive one. There's nothing really going on with the exclusive one except she's basically standing still. So it's cool that she's in a fighting pose. And of course, we needed an Ahsoka, especially because she is a pretty crucial part of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
And we are finally here at halfway. At number 5 on my list, I have Emma Wiggle. I think this is a cool pop. I don't think it is anything that's amazing, but I think it's leading up to some amazingness. some really awesome Wiggles Pops.
Coming in at number 5 on my list is the EB Games / GameStop exclusive sumo variant of Stanley Hudson. This pop is absolutely awesome. Like I mentioned, the detail involving the facial expression and just the way his hands are out, like he's ready to attack Jim and win this sumo battle. And I definitely did have a personal reaction, and there was a huge amount of hype as terms to that collector's box for that, which is why it's at number 5 in my top 10 list.
Moving on to number 4, I have the Chase version of Bo-Katan. Even though the helmet looks really great, there's a lot of awesome detail. I think people really want an unmasked version of her. I mean, she looks pretty badass without her helmet on. With her helmet, she does look badass, but without it, it's just a little better. And obviously, it's a Chase that makes you really want to get it. And I'm glad that we're seeing this pop in this Mando Season 2 set.
Coming in at number 4 on my top 10 list, it is the Rey Mysterio from the WWE lineup. I think this pop looks excellent. The way that the colors are and the way that they made it white eyes instead of black, because it really not only makes the eyes pop out, obviously, but it makes the whole attire pop out too.
Now we are on to number 3, and I have the Mando without his helmet and holding Grogu. I think that pop is arguably the best out of this new set. I mean, it's a kind of like a 2-for-1 deal, I guess, similar to like a Pop and Buddy, where you get Mando unmasked, which looks so great. It looks just like him. But then you also get Grogu, and he's so cute, and everyone loves him, obviously. So this is just a solid pop. I don't think if there's anyone who hates this pop, you're wrong.
Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Retro Tony the Tiger. I think this pop is pretty awesome, especially as a guy who doesn't really collect ad icons all that much. I ended up purchasing it, and it became my first ad icons pop. And I mentioned earlier, I do like the design of the Retro Tony the Tiger better than the current one that we've gotten with the normal and flocked variant a few years ago. And I think it's very, I guess, underrated in the sense that not a lot of people liked it at first, but I think over time it's going to be a pretty expensive pop.
Number 2 on my list, it's the Hot Topic Diamond Collection Ariel. I think this looks so good for some reason. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of Diamond Collection, but I think it works very, very well for Ariel as a character because obviously she's a mermaid. And when you think of a mermaid, I think most of the times you think of sparkles. Not only that, the base to the pop looks awesome. And you have Sebastian on there, which is also cool. So overall, this is just one of my favorite Disney princess pops of all time.
All right, coming in at number 2 on my list, it is the Chalice Collectibles exclusive Darth Maul with lightsaber and darksaber. I think it's a really cool Darth Maul pop. I don't think it's the greatest, though, as terms of the Darth Maul pops they've made so far, but it's still a cool variant. The detail of Darth Maul overall is a really cool detailed pop, and I definitely think it was, in my opinion, the best Star Wars pop that was announced during the set that was announced on May the 4th.
My number 1 is Tony the Tiger, the retro one. It is so great. I love how they're doing a kind of retro version of an ad icon. And there's obviously so many other characters they could do this with. I don't want to see it too often because I would like to see newer characters being released as fast as possible. But I think getting retro versions is something that is amazing. And why not start with Tony the Tiger because he's so iconic.
And my number 1 pick, it is Mando holding Grogu. This pop is excellent. So great. It is so awesome. It goes well with that ending of season 2 where basically Mando is passing off the child, or Grogu, I should say, to Luke Skywalker so that Grogu can get trained. Really excited that they did that. And I forgot to mention when we discussed about these Mando pops, everyone kept commenting, where's Luke Skywalker? Where's the Luke Skywalker pop? Why wasn't it in this wave? And I have one answer with 2 words only. Actually, 3 words. Comic-Con exclusive. I'm going to say it right now. It will most likely be either San Diego or New York. I can see it most likely being New York because these pops are releasing in August and New York Comic Con's in October. However, there have been times where pops got released earlier than what they've said. So potentially because San Diego Comic Con is late July, we could be getting the pops around the same time. So Luke Skywalker go along with those Mandalorian pops.
Yeah, I find it very funny that you brought that up, actually, because that was something I was going to discuss when I was talking about the Mando Pops, and I completely forgot. And it was almost the exact same thing that you said, but I do believe it will be San Diego Comic-Con that we get the Luke Skywalker, but I wouldn't be mad if it was at New York Comic-Con either.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's podcast, make sure you smash that like button, comment in the comments section below, and let us know what your favorite pops are for the month of May 2021 are so far. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of a Funko Popcast, and we hope to see you guys next week for a Funko-ween edition of a Funko Popcast. And also don't forget, 15% off pop protectors on popbox.ca using the code of Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
In the words of Jerry the King Lawler, puppies! Peace in, peace out.